Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Folium, Episode 5 of 8. You plot 50 delivery routes and a dozen warehouses on a single map. The result is a chaotic web of intersecting lines that no one can read. You need a way to let users filter the noise. That is where organizing vectors and layers comes in. First, you need to draw the paths. To represent connected coordinates on a map, you use the Folium PolyLine class. A polyline takes a sequence of latitude and longitude pairs and draws straight segments between them. If you have the GPS traces from a delivery truck, you simply pass that list of coordinates to the polyline object. You can configure visual properties like color, weight, and opacity. This allows you to draw a thick blue line for a primary shipping lane and a thin gray line for a local delivery route. If you attach a polyline directly to your base map, it is permanently visible. For a complex logistics map, this is a mistake. Here's the key insight. Instead of attaching shapes directly to the map object, you should put them inside a feature group. A feature group is a logical container. It groups related elements together so they can be managed as a single unit. In our logistics scenario, you start by creating two separate feature groups. You name the first one delivery routes and the second one warehouse locations. Then, as you generate your map elements, you change their destination. When you create a polyline for a truck path, you add it to the delivery routes group. When you create a standard marker for a building, you add it to the warehouse locations group. Once all your individual elements are sorted into their respective containers, you add both feature groups to the main map object. At this stage, the generated map looks identical to one where everything was dumped directly onto the base layer. The visual output has not changed, but the underlying data structure has. This structure is what enables user interaction. To expose this structure to the user, you instantiate a Folium layer control and add it to the map. The layer control scans the map object, finds all the feature groups you attached, and automatically builds an interactive menu in the top corner of the screen. Your feature groups become toggleable overlays. The user will see a checkbox for delivery routes and another checkbox for warehouse locations. If the screen is too cluttered, they can uncheck the routes to inspect just the facilities. The layer control separates your map data into two categories: base layers and overlays. Base layers are the underlying map tiles, like a street view or a satellite view. These are presented with radio buttons because only one base map can be active at a time. Overlays are the vectors and markers you added via feature groups. These use checkboxes, allowing multiple sets of data to stack on top of each other. The single most important rule of map interactivity is that the user interface can only manipulate what your data structure defines. If you attach every line and marker to the root map, your layer control menu will be empty and the user controls nothing. That is your lot for this one. Catch you next time.